individual we're going to invite up to close the event is the perfect person to do it. He really is the best example you will find of persistence, quality, all the things that you look for in leadership you will find here. And he's a guy that will do it himself. If that's what needs to be done, you can call on him to do anything, and he will be there. He does everything he says he's going to do. So please, let's give a round of applause to Mr. Ray Leonard.
I was asked to speak with you, and you know, what do you say after 3 days of this? How do you take everything that's been put into this room, and how do you put it in a box neatly so that you can put a jewel on top of it, and you I don't know, give yourself something meaningful? How do I communicate to you something that's meaningful, that would be more meaningful than all of this? I really don't know. And so I usually just wing things. And I've been in the back, and people have been laughing at me because I've been writing all kinds of notes. And I never do that. I always do better when I don't. So I finally wrote a note. I prayed to God that somehow I could share something with you that would communicate to you just how important it is that you understand and appreciate what you've just experienced. It's amazing, and I can tell you this. I know it's amazing because I've had situations in my life that were not very long ago where I've had to go into the dark, so to speak. And, boy, you find out about yourself when you do that. And it wasn't that long ago where I was in the dark. And I read a book about Mahatma Gandhi where he used to do that as a technique. He would actually go into the dark and he would get this communication that would come to him, and he found all kinds of enlightenment. And everybody knows who Mahatma Gandhi is. He changed the course of civilization and basically stopped a government from ruining and destroying a people, and he did it in a peaceful environment. We all know that, correct? Well, I had an opportunity to go into my own little darkness for a while, and I learned a lot. And I found out some truths. And some truths were that I was in a place where I was because of my actions, my own personal actions that were driven by my own thoughts. And my thoughts were that, well, they weren't right. They weren't right with reality. They weren't right with the earth. When I went into the dark, I said, I've just got to find out what the truth is, and I've got to act on that truth. And I'll give you an example of that. We all talk about the baby boomers. The baby boomers, right? They're for the next 15 years, somebody is going to be turning 60 years old for the next 15 years every 8 seconds. Do you know that? They're 60 years old. The number one thing they have on their mind, the most important thing on their mind right now is their health. That's number one. You know what number two is? Their life. They want to live longer. They would rather be healthy. If they can't live any longer, they'd rather be healthy while they were here. They'd like to live longer if they could, since they're healthy. Why not? Right? Next, what do they want? Help me out. Appearance. That's number three. They want their appearance. They want to look better. You know, if you're going to live longer and be healthier, you might as well look the part. Then they want money or security. That's what they want in that order. And the differences between maybe somebody that's not a baby boomer, somebody that's just a little bit younger than a baby boomer, is they're willing to do something about it. When you're 20 and you're 30, generally speaking, you're not willing to do anything about your problem. Your problem is that you want to live, that's what it is you want to live healthier, you want to live longer, you want to be prettier, more handsome, and more attractive, and you want to have more money. And so all of you that are in this room right here, remember, no one forced you to come here. This has not been a production, a show for you. This is where we take our coats off, we roll our sleeves up, and we go through the hard-headed process of finding out what it is that we think we should know about providing ourselves with solutions so that we're no longer working in our problem. And the moment that we start embracing the solutions instead of living with the problems and letting that be our reasons why we are where we are and what we are, and start saying that we have the choice and the opportunity and the vehicle to do something about it, then we can actually start to impact our future and our change and possibly end up at a different place than we already are. And that's all I really wanted when I went into my own personal darkness. And I guess we all have our own personal darknesses. Okay. Back to the baby boomers. That's a large group of people. There were over 1 billion people strong that were born between 1946 and 1964, right? We all know this. We've seen the tape. Has anybody ever thought about why in 1964 the baby boom stopped? The birth control pill. That's why it stopped. Boom, done. But these people have been so well pulled and marketed since the beginning of times, from the 50s to the 60s to the 70s and to the 80s and to the 90s and now into the 2000s, that you can actually predict what's going to happen with the market before it happens. And right now, for the next 15 years, we're on a growth market. And it hasn't even hit full momentum yet. And a story to give you with regards to what I'm trying to emphasize to you right now is that Wayne Gretzky recently was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and we know who he is. They polled him and they said, "How did you become so great, Wayne?" You know, the hockey player Wayne. He said, "How did you do it?" He says, "Well, I can tell you. There's a lot of good hockey players out there, professionally good hockey players, and I can tell you why I'm great, and I am great." He says, "I can tell you why that is." He said, the good hockey players, they go to where the puck is. He says, "I'm great because I go to where it's going to be." And it's like this business. It took me only about, I saw the Kangen water turn purple. I almost came off my chair. And Paul knew it. He said, "Bingo," and he started taking it away from me real fast, which, that got me. I was in. The single largest growth market in the future, I promise you, is 2 markets. Write it down. It is waste and water. Here's the deal. We've got Kangen. We've got Enagic. Follow me through, if you will. You've got a 32-year-old company. But look at all of the accolades, all the certificates, all the litmus tests, all of the acceptances. Look at all of the results. Look at the color of the water. Look at the people that are getting the results that they're getting. That's the company that you represent. That's the product that's put out. You're positioned on the front of this thing. Now, it gets even better. You got this huge market. I'm telling you here today, I'm not a brain surgeon. I did not finish high school. I just know how to get in front of things before they happen. It makes me look really, really good. And I'm sharing with you that the next growth market, the next big pop, is in waste and water. And you have a company that supplies a need to the single largest group of people in the world, the baby boomers. And do you realize they're only exceeded by one other group? There's one group larger than the baby boomers. Have you thought about who that might be? It's called the La Bamba boomers. They're just a little bit younger, they're a little bit smarter, they're a little bit more holistic, and they're the fastest growth market in the history of commerce. You get the positioning part of this thing? You're there. Now, because you're there, does that mean it's going to change your life? No, it does not mean that it's going to change your life. What it means is that you better adopt, accept, and approve of what it is that we're doing right here today and what we've just gone through. You've given up your weekend. You've given up 3 days of your life for the entire future of not only your own self, but your family and their family's family. You can absolutely change where you end up and where your family ends up because of what you've just done today. Because, very good, I'll take it. And that's because you have participated in a consciousness-raising exercise. That's what you've done. You've raised your own consciousness. Now you have to go out and you have to raise everybody else's consciousness level because they're going to get it. And if you position yourself enough right now, go through the hard-headed process of doing what it is that we just did. I know you do it because you've just done it. Get other people to do it. You can have absolutely anything that you want. So as I leave the stage here, I want to leave this to you. And I want you to think about it. And I hope it makes an impact on you. And it's the definition of strength. I used to think that strength was being able to stand up to anything. You're holding that thought, right? This is strength. It's not necessarily being able to stand up to anything. Strength is when you're willing to crawl on your belly for a long, 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 very long way until you're able to stand. That's strength. And so those of you who are crawling, you just keep crawling. Very shortly you'll stand. And when you stand, we're ready. So I wish you all greatness.